Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Linda, you're on the Tom Leykis Show with the Professor.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good.
I just want to know how come you are so negative on women and relationships.
Be specific.
Okay, the girl that just called.
Which one?
The one that her boyfriend was talking to the girl on the internet, the ex-girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you said to put her foot down and tell him that he can't do that, or he has to choose her, or, one or the other.
How's that being negative on women? I think I'm showing this women how to have a happy, strong relationship without having to worry about other women.
Well, what if he doesn't pick her and she's been with him for 4 years? What if that's not what she wants?
She has not been with him for 4 years. She's with another guy.
Okay. What about telling the guys that they need to put their foot down? It seems like every advice you give is put your foot down or walk away.
Everybody, I don't care if it's men or women, and that's why you don't understand what the professor is talking about here. Everyone has to make the rules up front, and then you have to stick to them.
What about negotiating?
There is no negotiating. The negotiating is to be done before the relationship.
Okay, then
once you are in the relationship, there is no more negotiating. It's done. All of these decisions have been made. So if you're a pot smoker before the relationship, unless someone says, hey, I'm not going to be in a relationship with a pot smoker, the guy's going to be a pot smoker forever, for example. If a woman says, I don't want you talking to a woman on the internet, that's going to be the rule. If she doesn't say anything, the guy does whatever he wants. You have to make the rules up front. That's when you have the most negotiating power in a relationship. You don't have any negotiating power once you're married. None. Zero.
Well, you should.
You don't.
It should always be compromising.
This is not the shoulda, woulda, coulda show, okay? We deal in reality here, okay? I don't care what should happen. I talk about what does happen. And what does happen is once you get married, the guy is no longer obligated to bring flowers or take you out to dinner, and you're no longer obligated to have sex with him. And that's pretty much the way relationships work. You have to negotiate the rules up front.
Well, why is that?
That's the way it is. I don't care why it is.
Well, and why is it okay? Are you married?
Yes.
And you tell your wife what to do and she does that?
That's not what I do. We made the rules for our relationship before we got married. We have a prenuptial agreement. The rules are spelled out in black and white, 32 pages of them.
You're kidding.
No. And so there is no need for negotiation. The negotiations took place before we got married.
And if one of you breaks those rules, you just leave that person?
Well, we have the option to do that, sure. Everybody has the option to leave everybody. But you know what? If you discuss what the rules are going to be before the relationship gets started, before you move in together, before you get married, then you have every right to say, look, these are the rules. You agreed to them. You don't have any negotiating position once you get married. Well, if you want flowers every Friday, for example, you better state that up front. But you see, people don't want to do that because they're afraid it will make the other person go away. So they just sit there and quietly hope that that's what's going to happen. If you want him to pick up his socks, you better make that rule before he moves into your house.
And if he doesn't pick up his socks, just walk away?
I say if he's not picking up his socks before you're in with him, he ain't going to do it later. And you're not going to nag him. You know what nagging does to a relationship? It kills it. It's poison. It erodes the relationship. It's like acid. It eats away at it.
Yes, but things...
So, no, you do not want to get into a relationship where you quietly accept the fact the guy's a sock thrower, and then after you marry him, going, hey, pick those up. Because then you become a shrew. You think he's going to be turned on by a shrew?
Well, why can't he change and pick them up?
Because we don't change. You don't understand. We don't change. We are who we are. You know what? The only time you have the power to make somebody change is before you marry them. After that, you get what you get.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be with somebody if you have to make rules and you want to change them.
You have to make rules with everybody. You have to set limits with everybody. I mean, I have certain rules, and you've got rules too, by the way. Do you have a husband?
I have a boyfriend.
You have a boyfriend. Is he allowed to have sex with other women?
Well, no.
Why do you need a rule? Why don't you just let him do whatever he feels like doing?
Well, because he wouldn't anyway.
do you mean he wouldn't anyway?
Why would he?
Maybe he finds somebody who's younger and hotter than you are, doesn't have kids.
Oh.
There you are, a single mother. Maybe he wants to be with somebody who doesn't have kids. Maybe somebody who's 19.
Well, how do you know if I have kids or not?
I hear your kid in the background.
Oh.
I'm not stupid. You're a single mother. I know who you are, and I know why you don't like what the professor has to say.
Oh, because single women are after their money?
Single mothers.
Or after men's money?
You're looking for a parent for your kid. That's what you're looking for, and somebody to pay the bills with you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I pay all my own bills.
Right now.
We don't even...
Because you're not married yet. But if you get him to marry you, then you get him to pay the bills with you.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
So he's not going to help you with any of the bills if he marries you.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's my point. Yes, you will have help with the bills. You just said no, and then you said yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes, but it's not why I would be with him.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Well, what you say, why would he do that? Maybe he finds somebody younger and hotter than you are. By the way, after having the kid, did you butch up? Did you cut your hair real short and everything?
And what does that mean?
Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't.
Oh, good. Well, that's a good start. Don't do it after you marry him if you do. Guys like long hair.
What does that comment mean?
I'm telling you, this is what women with kids do. They get married, they butch up, they start looking asexual, they look like mommies who drive the minivan instead of looking like goddesses like they used to look.
Really?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Well, I still wear my G-string after 4 kids, and I have a grandbaby, okay?
What?
Yeah, thank you.
You're 34 years old. You're not 34.
Yes, I am.
You're 34 and a grandmother.
Yes.
And you're proud of this, are you?
Well, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it, huh, Tom?
There's nothing you can do about it. Well, there was something you could have done about it.
What was that?
Maybe not gotten knocked up.
Not got knocked... Excuse me, I wasn't the one that got knocked up. It
Really?
was my daughter.
Oh, how did you have... Wait a minute.
I was married. My daughter got knocked up very young.
Really? How old is your daughter?
15.
She's
She
15.
was 14.
So I understand, but what can you say when mommy was having kids at 19? And how young were you when you had the first?
18.
Oh, 18. Right. So mommy had it at 18. It's another generation. Now she's having them at 15. And the next generation will have it at 12.
And that's...
How is mommy supposed to tell the kid what to do when mommy was popping out kids at 18? Yeah, laugh at me, why don't you?
Mm-hmm.
No, you were all upset at your daughter. How much worse was she than you? Who were you married to at 18 when you were popping out kids?
Wait, I wasn't all upset with my daughter. I'm all upset with you, who stands in judgment
Are you upset
of
at me?
everybody else.
Oh, yeah, I'm in judgment. I think to be a 34-year-old grandmother is pathetic.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
No.
Well, then how can you talk?
Because I think it's pathetic to be having all those kids at that age. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do?
Yes, I do. I do. And I'm not, you know what? Unlike most of the men you deal with who are going to cower in the corner, I've got balls, and I'll tell it right to you. Yes,
Well,
I think
wouldn't be
being
with him if you didn't tell it right
a
to you.
34-year-old grandmother, that's pathetic. What kind of
Really?
life is that?
How can you sit there and say anything when you don't have any kids?
What's your husband's name?
Ken?
You're married.
No, it's my boyfriend.
I'm talking about husbands. How many husbands have you had?
2.
2. Were you married when you had all these kids?
Yes, I was.
Really? So you were married at, 18?
Yes.
So you got knocked up, and then your husband did the right thing and married you. Isn't that right?
Yes, actually, the first time.
Right. And that turned out to be the right thing, didn't it?
Well, no, actually, he was a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course he was.
He's
But
sitting in jail.
oh, and that's what turned you on, isn't it? You know, don't you sit here and I just love hearing women like you knocking the exes. The fact is, that bad boy who's in jail, that's exactly what turned you on. That's exactly what got you hot, and then he knocked you up because he was a bad boy and you were 18 and there you were, and he got you all hot and bothered. Now you're going to call him a jerk, but you picked him, lady. You picked him.
You know why I moved in with him and married him and everything, right?
Yeah, why don't you tell us?
Well, because you have this thing about women that, what did you say, was it yesterday? That guys take women that say, well, I was abused as a child, and they just play them.
Yeah.
So why do you think that?
Why do I think that? I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist. Are you?
But you have a lot of advice.
Oh, I do, but I never claim to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I don't call myself Dr. Laura or Dr. anything. I don't pretend to be anything I'm not. All of my advice is based on life experience.
So you
And clearly I have you pegged to a T.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
And how would that be?
Because there you are, 18, cranking out kids, and then you have the gall to say what a jerk this guy was. Well, if he was such a jerk, why'd you let him... Bleep me, Brett. If he was such a jerk, why'd you let him...
Oh, okay. Because at first, we were dating, okay?
Dating equals porking, yes.
Well, yes, with you it always does.
No, and with you too, dear.
Okay. And then
Miss
after
34-year-old grandmother, yes.
that, you know, what is the problem with that?
What is the
How
problem
old
with
are
that?
you?
I'm 43, but I'm not a grandparent.
You don't even
Like
have
you.
kids.
That's right.
Because you have three...
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Huh?
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, how many women do you sleep with at one time?
How many do I sleep with at one time?
How many women were you sleeping with when you were 18 and I was married, okay, taking care of my baby?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
So how is that so much better than being married at 18 and taking care of my baby?
Because being 18 and having a kid, you got no friggin' life left. You still haven't explained to me why you let that jerk...
Well, that's a long story.
Oh, yeah, it's a long story. Now he's a jerk, but back then, oh, no.
No, he was a jerk back then.
Oh, really? Oh, so were you a rape victim?
That would be none of your business.
Oh, I see. So you married your rapist. That's great. And I'm
No.
supposed to be telling you what a great person you are.
No, I didn't say I married my rapist.
Oh, well, then you weren't raped. You voluntarily had sex with him, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh. So this jerk was what turned you on at 18. Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is it when you go out and tell these guys, well, you should sleep with... You encourage guys to go out and sleep with 3, 4, 5 women at a time.
No, I don't tell them how many women to sleep with at a time. I tell them how to get sex. That's what I tell them. And I tell them to avoid... And I tell them to avoid women like you.
Really?
Really.
Because we have children.
Oh, you have 4 children. You're 34. You got a grandchild. You're a 34-year-old grandmother.
And
You're
I
nothing
think
but
so.
baggage.
My boyfriend has 7 children.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 37.
Oh, boy, you know what? We're going to see you all at the loony bin.
Really?
Yeah,
How can you sit there and give that information when you don't even have kids? You don't know.
I do know. There's a reason I don't have kids. Because I don't want to be pathetic like you.
Really?
Really?
No, I think you're pathetic.
Oh, you do?
At
Well,
least I
I'm
have
sure you
people in
do.
my life that love me. You're just going out sleeping with everybody that'll take you.
No, I'm not. I'm married, dear.
That don't matter to you.
Oh, really? When did I say that?
Well, you promote that all the time, don't
What,
you?
I tell people to go out and have affairs? When did I say that?
You don't mind them, do you?
I never said any such thing. You obviously not listening carefully. Like most women, you have a hearing problem.
Really?
Really?
Mm.
Insane. Yeah. Yeah, you do. And it seems to me you can't understand normal thinking either.
Really?
Really. What do you think about that, Grandma?
That don't bother me a bit. I
Oh,
wanna
I
know
bet
why
it doesn't. Don't worry, by the time you're 45, you'll be a great-grandmother. You'll be proud of that, too. Probably by
Why
the time...
should I be ashamed of it?
Why should you be ashamed of it? Because you're nothing but a white trash family just pumping out kids like you're at the Staples. You're down at the Staples or the Kinko's. You're just cranking out Xerox copies.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, her boyfriend might be offended by that because he's not white trash. He would be black trash.
Oh, black trash. Okay, very good. Excellent. But there's no question about what you are. Trailer trash, baby.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And why would that
What
be?
brand do you smoke, by the way?
Marlboro Light.
Of course you do. Of course you do, dear. How did I know? That's great for the kids to be smoking those Marlboro Lights. So there you are. Marlboro Lights. Your ex-husband's in prison. You're a grandmother at 34. You're a fine specimen.
You damn straight I am.
Boyfriend has 7 kids. Are they all by the same mother? Let me guess.
No, because you promote it to where he can sleep with everybody he wants.
Oh, really? So I'm telling guys to go out and have sex without a condom? Is that what I'm doing?
No, but you tell guys to go out and just...
With a
if they go-
condom.
Well,
and not to have sex with women who don't use birth control.
he's been married 3 times. Is he supposed to wear a condom?
I don't care. Why do you need to have 7 kids?
Well, I don't know.
Uh-huh. So now you got 11 kids plus your grandchild walking around. You're 34. What a life.
You have no kids, Tom.
Why do I want to have no kids? I'll tell you why. Let me give you all the reasons. I'm so glad you asked. Because I live in a 4-story house in the Hollywood Hills with a wine cellar, and every year I take 3 or 4 trips up to the Napa Valley to shop for wines. I drive a Lexus. I go on vacation to Maui and Puerto Vallarta. I'm not sitting home sending the grandchildren up to pick up Marlboro Lights at the 7-Eleven and sitting around seeing how I can crank out more children like you.
Really?
Really?
You have no
What is your vacation? Sitting home, sending the kids out for ciggies?
I don't send my kids out for cigarettes.
Oh, no? Oh, yeah, they won't sell them to the kids. You have to go yourself now. Yeah, I know. Sending them out for what? Tampons? What? Certainly not birth control devices.
No, certainly she doesn't take that, does she?
Not, and neither do you, probably.
I don't have to. My tubes are tied. Thank you.
Well, it's about time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So all 7 of those kids he has, they're all legitimate?
I believe so, yeah.
You're not even sure. That's great. Uh-huh.
Well, he was married.
That's great.
That would make them
That's
legitimate.
quite the track record. He's got kids with 3 different ex-wives?
Yes.
Wow. And you're a grandmother at 34.
Yeah.
That's just great. Have you heard from the Jerry Springer Show yet?
1-800-5800-TOM.
Answer the question.
I'm trying to, but you keep doing
Don't answer the question. You're answering questions I didn't ask. I'm asking a specific question. I want an answer to that question.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Francesca. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yes, I was calling. So I was about the way you spoke to the lady on the last.
Well, can I ask why you have the radio turned all the way up?
I'm turning it down now.
But it should have been turned down before I got on the phone. So you've been on hold for
it's
7
down.
minutes now. All right. So it's very...
Now, can I ask you your reasons for calling her white trash?
Because I think she was white trash.
Why? Because she's a 34-year-old grandmother with 4 children?
Yeah.
Okay. And why would you call her that?
Because I think that people who aren't trash don't get knocked up at a young
So
age.
how long have you been married?
8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
You have no children.
That's right.
Okay.
How many do you have?
1.
How many do I hear in the background?
Yes, you do.
That's 1 child?
Yes, I do.
And so there's only 1 child in the room.
There's only 1 child I have.
How many children are in the room?
1.
All right. And how old is your child?
She's 1 year old.
Uh-huh. And why are you busy having kids at 18? You know, if you weren't trash, you would be waiting until you had an education, until you had a career.
Education. I graduated from high school. Now I'm in a process of going to college.
Wow. You're in the
wow.
process of going or you are going?
Excuse me?
You're in the process of going or you're attending classes?
I'm in the process of going.
What does that mean? You're in process of
applying. In September, thank you.
Oh, so in other words, you've taken a year off.
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh. And you're going to what, a community
I
college?
took a year off to plan my wedding.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Why didn't you get married before you had the child?
Because I didn't want to get married before I had the child.
Why not?
It was an option, but I chose not to.
Why? No. Why?
Because I wasn't ready then.
Oh, but you were ready to have a kid.
That's different.
Why were you ready to
take
have
care
a
of 2
Why were
people,
you
not
ready
3.
to have a kid at 18? And you know what the answer is there with the radio turned up. You know what the answer is. The answer is you weren't ready. It was an accident.
Okay.
Right?
It was an accident that I was ready and willing to accept. I knew the conditions before I got in that position. I knew the position before I laid down there.
What, the missionary position? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-huh. So tell me then, why did you think it was a good idea to get knocked up as a teenager?
I never said it was a good idea to get knocked
So it was
up.
a bad idea.
Oh, no, it wasn't a bad idea.
What birth control were you using at the time, by the way?
Rubbers.
Oh, yeah. And we see, by the way, men, are you listening? You see how effective those things are?
Well, you're the one that's up here promoting guys to go out and strap up and stick it in.
Here's what I'm promoting. A, guys use rubbers as a backup. B, guys never have sex with chicks like you that don't use birth control.
Excuse me, I use birth control.
What were you using when you got knocked up?
I was using birth control. They
What?
are not 110%.
What were you using?
I was using Trojans, ENZ,
No. You.
Would you let me finish?
No, your boyfriend was using Trojans. What were you using?
Trojans, ENZ. I was using a form of birth control.
What
pills.
form? Stop beating around the bush. What form?
You want the name?
And just tell me what type of birth control was in your body
Pills
at the time.
and a cream. Thank you.
So you were on the pill and you used cream.
Yes, I did.
And you had not forgotten to take your pill. So you had 3 forms of birth control and you got knocked up anyway.
Okay, but birth control is not 110%.
That's not the point. When you use 3 of them at the same time, it's virtually impossible to get pregnant. You didn't
It is
use
not
3.
virtually
You did
impossible.
not
I have
use
a
3.
calendar to prove
You
that
did
it
not use 3 forms of birth control.
How you gonna know? Were you in my bed?
I know you didn't. Come on.
Were you in my bed?
Do you know what the odds are? You know, with a pill, it's 99% unlikely. With I don't know what kind of cream you're talking about. You're probably talking about jelly. That's probably about 95, 96%. And then a condom is also 95, 96%. So therefore, you put the 3 together, it's highly unlikely you're ever going to get knocked up. You forgot to take your pill that day or something. You don't know how to take the pill, or you were doing something wrong.
Okay. So because I'm 19 and I have a child, that makes me trash?
Yeah.
Okay, even though I can provide for my child myself.
Oh,
and-
please. Yeah, you know, you say that now. Let's see how you're providing for everybody when you're going to college. What do you do for a living?
I'm in telemarketing. And I make a very good
Telemarketing.
living.
You're one of those people who calls me during the World Series and the Super Bowl and harasses me. Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow.
That's got a great future in it. Okay, and what is your plan for the future?
Telemarketing is part-time. I'm also an auditor for full-time.
You're an auditor. What do you audit?
Stores.
You audit stores.
Yes, I do.
So you do that at home, of course.
No, I do not do that at home. I
Really?
go to different stores and audit them all over
I
throughout
see.
the
And where do
city.
you leave the joyous little accident when you're going out and doing that?
She has a grandmother, an auntie, or a cousin who's very much so willing to watch her.
Her grandmother is what,
She also has a
32?
father who's willing to watch her.
Right. How old is her grandmother? 32?
No, her grandmother is 50, thank you.
50. Well.
Yes, one grandmother is 50, and the other one is also 34.
Oh, 30. The other one's 34.
Yes,
Uh-huh. So, wait a minute. It's your mother is 34, right?
correct.
I knew it. So she had you when she was 15.
Yeah.
So it kind of runs in the family.
Excuse me, I was 18 when I gave birth, not 15.
That's not my point. Oh, what, 3 years difference? Come on.
But still, I was at age of majority. I was of legal age.
No, but you weren't when you got knocked up, dear. That was statutory rape when you got knocked up.
Statutory rape is only if the person is over age.
You were under 18 when you were impregnated.
So?
And so you were having sex illegally in the state of Michigan.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the law.
Okay.
I mean, your boyfriend, how old is he?
21.
21. You know, so he technically is a rapist. He broke the law
Ooh.
to knock you up.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's trippy. You know, and so what is your big plan for your life here, Francesca? Besides having a few more accidents along the way, what is your plan here?
For one, I don't plan to have accidents.
No one plans to have accidents. That's why they call them accidents.
Excuse me, I don't mind having my child young. Thank you.
I know you don't.
I would rather have had her at 18.
That's right. That way, when you're 34 and you're a grandmother, then you could have a child who's going to be younger than your own grandchild. It'll be great.
Oh, wow. You're full of it.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
Uh-huh. How many accidents do you plan to have?
I don't plan to have accidents. If you want to know how many more children do I plan to have?
Why, yes.
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And you're going to, let me understand, so you're going to graduate college, have 2 or 3 children, and then
I
what
didn't
kind of...
say I will be having the kids right now.
Uh-huh. And what kind of career are you planning for yourself, dear?
I'm planning a career in education, thank you.
Education! You want to pass on all the wisdom you have to others.
Oh, excuse me, I have plenty of wisdom.
Oh, yeah, right.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
I have to say I love oral sex.
Really?
I love giving it.
Come on up.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Let's say hello here to, look at these. Unbelievable. Jill, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Leykis 101. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I don't know. I don't understand where you get off saying that young mothers are trash.
Because I think you just pretty much signed off on the rest of your life.
I don't feel that way, though.
I know you don't, because you have no choice.
I did have a choice.
No, you didn't. You had an accident.
No, but I had a choice whether I wanted to have her, whether I wanted to keep her. You know, I had a lot of choices, and I made the choice, and I'm very happy with the choice.
Well, wonderful. What are you doing for a living?
I'm a receptionist.
That's great.
It's better than, being on welfare.
Well, yeah, but there's other choices, dear, like going to college, getting a degree, getting a real career you can be proud of that pays good money, and having a child when you're like 26, 27 years old, when you are financially ready and when your career is off and running.
I make very good money doing what I do. And
how much is very good money? You're anonymous.
$10 an hour to answer phones, Tom.
Wow. You make a whole $400 a week. That's $20,000 a year.
You know what?
Wow.
But it's very good for me and for what experience I have. And
the point is, you'd have had more experience if instead of getting sexual experience and getting knocked up, if you had gotten like experience going to school and then getting a couple of jobs. No, where did you have your college degree from?
I don't have a college degree.
Why not?
Because it's not.
Most people when they're 22 have graduated and have a degree. What's yours?
Yeah, many of my friends are graduating this year from school.
Right, and you? What year are you in?
I'm not in school right now.
Oh, how many years of college have you completed?
I haven't completed any years.
Oh, that's great. So let's review. Okay, you're doing great. You have a high school diploma and you're a receptionist.
And I'm doing well for myself, and I'm taking care of my
And you're
daughter.
making $400 a week.
But I can take care of
to
my
support
daughter
two
on that,
people.
can't I?
I don't know. You live in Redondo Beach and two people can live on $20,000 a year? What do you live in, a cardboard box?
I'm actually staying with her grandparents right now.
Oh, so you can't even afford to live in your own home.
I can't afford to live in my own home. It's just not something.
On
that I wanna
$20,000
do.
a year? What kind of rent would you pay on $20,000 a year?
Tom, the issue is not.
Answer that question.
I make enough money to be able to live.
At the kid's grandparents' house. That's where you make enough money to live. You don't make enough money to live anywhere.
I do.
No, you don't.
Out on my own.
No, you don't. You couldn't live in Compton on that.
I've lived out on my own, Tom. The issue is, that's the decision that I
You live
made
with
to come
18
back.
roommates.
No.
You did not live in your own place.
Yes, I did.
Where?
In Torrance.
You lived in Torrance. How much rent did you pay?
$800 a month.
$800 a month. So let me see. You make
I had another
$20,000 a
job
year, and you were spending half of your money on rent.
I had another job then.
I see.
I was working 2 jobs because I'm doing what I need to do to take care of my daughter.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing what I need to do to better myself, to give her a better life.
I see. Yes. You weren't worried about that when you were making $20,000 a year. How much money are you putting towards your child's education fund, or is the plan for her to get knocked up when she's a teenager also?
She's actually got $10,000 sitting in a savings account.
Ooh, that ought to get her like books and the first semester's tuition.
Well, that's just for
great.
now, Tom. That's not,
I
all
see.
that she's going to have.
All right, well, when are you going to start college? When will that be starting?
When am I?
Yeah,
Next semester.
I see. And what will you be studying, dear?
Education.
Education! Another one who wants to educate!
Yeah.
Another person wants to pass on the wisdom of the white trash.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I need my balls reattached, Tom.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Men, when a woman says to you,
You're listening to Tom Leykis.
and she has not put out,
Tom Leykis.
stop going out with her.
LA's #1 rated afternoon talk show.
Simple as that.
On 97.1, the FM Talk Station.